put down what you're doing and come back. Pay close attention. What I'm about to share with you will completely alter how you think about your relationship to the real world. This isn't just an idea. It's more than just an idea. It is a real experience that is happening right now, whether you are aware of it or not. You are being watched. Not by someone from the outside, not by the government, and not by spiritual beings watching from far away. Everything in the world is watching you, by the quantum field that is always measuring, reacting to, and shifting its position based on the state of your consciousness. And here's the secret about this observation that no one tells you. It doesn't mean nothing. The quantum field isn't just looking at you like a scientist writing down notes. It is responding directly to what it sees in you. Based on just one thing, the coherence and direction of your consciousness, it is collapsing infinite possibilities into the particular reality you experience. The field can read every thought, feeling, and state of being you have in your body. It keeps track of it, and it is manifesting a reality that matches it with such accuracy that it would scare you if you knew how fast and complete this process is. Not long ago, you felt this way, right? That creepy feeling that reality is reacting to you in ways that don't make sense. Someone contacts you right away after you think of them. You need something, and it comes to you through channels that shouldn't work together. There are times when things seem to come together to give you exactly what you were afraid of. There's no chance in this. It's not just the law of attraction. That's what quantum observation is. Know this before we go any further. By sending this transmission to other people, you are making this signal stronger. This coherence that you send out into the collective field will bring others who are ready to awaken to it. Share this right now, and let the act of sharing itself be a broadcast. There is a field that is always reading your consciousness and making a reality that matches what it reads. But this is very important because of this. The observation is getting stronger right now. Right now. The field is no longer just keeping an eye on you for fun. It is focused on you more precisely than anything else you've ever felt. This is so that you can consciously direct the energy rather than unconsciously broadcasting chaos, because your consciousness has reached a frequency where you can. You are near the door. You can stop being a victim of random observation and take charge of what the field sees in you and, by extension, what it shows up around you. The mechanism was not explained by the quantum scientists who discovered this principle in their labs. They showed that particles act differently when they are being watched. Noting something changes the thing that is being noted itself. They didn't fully understand, though, that this wasn't just true for tiny particles in lab tests. This is always and everywhere how reality works. You are not just seeing what is real. Reality is looking at you. This observation works both ways. It changes both of them all the time, right away and completely. And something has changed about how intensely the field is focusing on you right now. You may have noticed that reality is responding more quickly, that synchronicities are happening more often, and that manifestations are happening more quickly. You may have noticed that your thoughts are stronger now than they were before. Some people have a strange feeling that they are being watched, tracked, or kept an eye on by something that they can't see but is there. You're not making this up. The quantum observation is stronger now that you've reached a point in your growth where you are ready to work with it consciously instead of letting it control you unconsciously. Now is your chance. Not later, when you're better ready. Not until you have done more, learned more, or become more spiritual. Right now. The field is looking at you very closely right now. And the reality you collapse into manifestation will depend on what you do in response to that observation. Unconscious chaos can keep being sent out into the field, and it will create a chaotic world around you. You can also use your mind to direct the energy. For the field to respond, you can send clear signals, and then you can watch reality change in ways that seem impossible until you see them for yourself. Feeling this change? Say it out loud in the comments. I am aware of the mirror. This statement should be your first clear signal. In this moment, you are realizing that you are not just watching reality. You are living it and responding to it. You are now ready to see what is really being shown. Also, if this sounds like you, please subscribe to this channel. It takes more than a click to subscribe. It's a promise to yourself. It tells the quantum field that you are ready to stay in this state of awareness and receive the energy of coherence all the time. Recent events in your life have been acting in strange ways that you probably haven't told anyone about because they seem too strange and impossible. It may seem like you're losing touch with normal life. But what's really happening is that you are connecting with reality, with the quantum nature that lies beneath the world that seems solid. The field is showing you how it really works, instead of keeping up the comfortable illusion of a fixed, objective world, which is what you feel strange about. It seems like you've been having reality glitches. There are times when time seems to skip or repeat, where you're sure that something didn't happen the way everyone else thinks it did, where it seems like the same strange thing is happening twice, as if reality is stuttering. They are not false memories or a mess of thoughts. The quantum field you are seeing is in the process of reorganizing. Probability waves collapsing into manifestation are glimpses you are catching. You are not just experiencing the finished product. You are seeing reality being built. The field is showing you how it works on the inside because you have become better at observing things and can now see it. There has also been the undeniable impression that your thoughts are manifesting themselves almost instantly. There shouldn't be any big goals you've been working toward for years. Instead, there should be small, everyday goals. When you think about a certain song, it comes on the radio right away. When you think about an old friend, they call you right away. You're looking for a solution to a problem, and just then the right book or video shows up. Your thoughts' lag time between manifestation is getting shorter. It's not because you learned how to do it better. This is due to the fact that the quantum field is watching you more closely, reading your consciousness more accurately, and responding to your signal more quickly and without distortion. Feeling watched when no one is there might be the most upsetting thing that can happen. Feeling like someone or something is watching you, but you can't see them. Even though your logical mind tries to tell you it's just a thought or paranoia, the feeling stays with you and has a quality of being real that you can't deny. There is no one watching you. You can directly feel the observation of the quantum field. That feeling is the field's attention on your consciousness, reading it, measuring it, and getting ready to react to it. Since you've never been consciously observed at such a deep level before, the feeling is strange and uncomfortable. Then there's the way that probability seems to curve around you. Things that ought to be uncommon occur with an unfathomable frequency. There are parking spots right when you need them. You have perfect timing in situations where you shouldn't be able to control timing. Problems go away just as they were about to get in the way. Or on the other hand, when you are in a state of fear or contraction, problems seem to appear out of nowhere, as if reality is against you. There is no plot going on in the field for or against you. You are being mirroring. It shows that you are clear and coherent when you are. It shows that you are chaotic when you are contracted. You can see how quickly and accurately reality responds to your consciousness because you are looking into the mirror. You've also noticed that people react to you differently than they used to. They feel like something has changed about you that they can't put their finger on. Some people are drawn to you even though they don't know why. People avoid being around you without meaning to and feel uncomfortable. What they are reacting to is not who you are or how you act. Their quantum field is picking up on and responding to the frequency you are broadcasting. The signal you send out is stronger, clearer, and more logical than it was before. It doesn't matter if someone is aware of it or not. Their field is reading and responding to that signal. Probably the most important thing is the feeling of knowing things you shouldn't know. You become aware of things that happened that you weren't there for. You have new ideas about the people you met. You understand hard topics all of a sudden that you never studied. This isn't a psychic skill or a unique gift. This gives you direct access to the quantum field, which is where all data is stored. The point of view works both ways. You can look at the field while it looks at you. The observer and the observed can freely share information with each other. You are getting better at reading the field the same way it reads you. And that's what makes it possible to direct energy consciously. Please let us know in the comments if you have been having these glitches, synchronicities, or the feeling of being watched. Write down, "I am seeing beyond the illusion." This does not mean you are losing touch. It means you are being more in touch. As a signal to the field that you are ready to see the mechanism behind the curtain, let this serve as the anchor for your new perception. Click the like button right now if any of these things sound like something you've been through. Let that sound of the click serve as a physical anchor for your awareness. By liking something, you are sending a clear signal that says, "I see," into the field. This validates your own journey and makes the energy of this truth stronger. Up until now, everything you've felt or seen has been an unconscious quantum observation. While you were not aware of what was happening, the field was reading your consciousness and manifesting a reality that fit. When you were in a state of coherence, the field responded with success. Every failure was the field's way of responding to the contradiction inside you. With every synchronicity, the field showed you how responsive it is. Every challenge was a mirroring of your inner chaos. It was all planned out. The signal you were unknowingly broadcasting received a precise quantum response from everything. The pain you were going through was not a punishment from the universe. What you were feeling was the quantum field telling you exactly what kind of consciousness you were having. You were broadcasting the most confusing, chaotic, and incoherent signals when you were suffering the most. You thought one thing but wanted something else. You wanted success but thought you would fail. You wanted love but didn't think you were worthy of it. In response to signals that are at odds with each other, the field can only make a reality that is at odds with itself. Your pain was showing you the internal contradiction that you couldn't see directly, but that the field was perfectly mirroring back to you. In reality, every spiritual practice you did was teaching you how to send a stronger signal, even though most of them don't say it that way. Meditation did more than just connect you to a higher consciousness. It also cut down on signal noise so the field could read you more clearly. In order to bring your conscious desire and your unconscious belief into coherence, affirmations did more than just reprogram your subconscious. Visualization wasn't making things happen in the mind. It was just giving the field a clear picture to work with instead of a bunch of confusing pictures. Your wild mind was making things. Symptom-focused approaches didn't address the core mechanism, which is why most practices worked for a short time and then stopped. When you meditate and feel calm, you send a clear signal to the field, which responds beautifully. After that, you would stop meditating and start thinking in a crazy way again, and the field would react to that crazy thinking instead. Even though you didn't realize it, you would say abundance, even though you felt unworthy, and the field would respond to that deeper, unconscious signal instead of the surface affirmation. You thought you could change what the field saw about you, but you didn't realize that it sees everything. Everything you think, everything you believe, everything you want, and everything you fear. There is nothing you can hide from quantum observation. And now that you can work directly with the mechanism rather than through indirect methods that might or might not affect the signal you are broadcasting, you have arrived. If you can build coherence consciously, you don't need to meditate to become coherent. If you can see the contradictions that are preventing coherence, you don't need to believe new things. If you can send out such a clear signal that the field knows exactly what to bring into being, you don't need to picture the reality you want. In this step, quantum participation goes from being unconscious to being conscious. Before, you were broadcasting like a radio station, not knowing what signal you were sending or if anyone was picking it up. At this point, you know that the field is always listening to your broadcast and responding exactly to it. Because you can no longer participate unconsciously once you are aware of the mechanism, this awareness changes everything. When you think something, you consciously choose what signal to send. It's possible to tell from your emotions whether you are making sense or not. Every moment is a chance to choose how to direct the energy instead of letting unconscious patterns do it for you. Say what you want to do in the comments. I am shifting from chaos to coherence. Let writing this be a strong step. Random, unconscious patterns are no longer being sent to the quantum field. Instead, you are sending a clear, deliberate, and coherent signal. There is a lot of quantum observation going on right now as you read these words. Your response to this information is being measured by the field. It can tell if you are willing to accept it or not. It checks to see if you are ready to direct your energy consciously or if you will go back to unconscious broadcasting. The field is recording your response right now as a signal for what reality will appear to you next. Feel it? That electricity-like feel in the air? That feeling of being more aware? That feeling of having to make a big choice? These words don't say that. That's coming from the field's close observation, from reality itself, giving you its full attention right now. Your trajectory is being determined by this moment. At threshold points, the observation gets stronger, and you are at one right now. The point where quantum participation goes from being unconscious to being conscious. It's not energy from outside that's building up in your field. It's your own consciousness realizing that it has a choice it has never had before. It can keep letting unconscious patterns send out confusing signals, or it can choose to be in charge of what the field sees in you. This choice has always been there, but you couldn't make it consciously until you knew how the mechanism worked. You get it now. The field looks at you. You can see how the field is looking at you. You can choose what happens next, while you are both watching each other. Like this video if you are ready to make that choice. Think of that simple action as the first thing you can do to direct your energy. Your actions are now in line with what you've decided inside, which makes the signal you're about to send to the universe stronger. However, this is what makes this moment so important. There isn't much time to make this change on purpose. The field is very responsive right now. You're very aware of things. The observation is at its strongest. It is possible to move into the conscious direction of quantum energy if you pay attention to what is being offered. Ignoring this or putting it off will make it less intense. The window will close, and you will have to wait for another threshold moment when everything is just right. These moments of transition are rare and valuable, and you shouldn't take them for granted. The exact mechanism for conscious direction is what I'm going to talk about next. What can be done to send clear signals to the field instead of chaos? How to spread coherence rather than conflict within an organization. If you want your consciousness to be so clear, the field will know exactly what reality to bring into being. But you need to decide before I tell you that. Are you willing to be fully responsible for what the field sees in you? Because it's not possible to act like you don't know how to control it once you do. You can't put the blame on other people, bad luck, or outside events. You take full responsibility for your reality because you will be able to see how you are making it happen through the signal you send out. A few years ago, I was in my apartment and really needed help. I had no money left. My relationship was over. My health was getting worse. Meditation, affirmations, visualization, energy work, therapy, and coaching were some of the things I had tried. Some things helped for a while, but nothing changed things for good. Even though I tried hard to break out of the patterns, I felt like I was up against an invisible force that would not let go. That evening, I gave up because I was so frustrated. It was the last time I meditated, said affirmations, or visualized. I did not do anything. And when they gave up, something amazing happened. Something I hadn't seen before caught my attention. Being there. A look. A feeling that you are being watched by something big and alive. There was no being or thing there. It was just reality, paying attention to me in a way I had never been aware of. And at that very moment of noticing, I realized something shocking. The person who looked wasn't impartial. It was answering me. It replied to every thought I had. I was able to record every emotion I felt. It reflected back every state I was in. It wasn't because the methods were bad that nothing had worked in the long run. The observer was reacting to the deeper signal rather than the surface practice because I was broadcasting contradictory signals underneath the conscious practices. I began to play around. I would consciously think a certain thought and then watch how reality responded. When I deliberately set myself in a certain emotional state, I would watch as my circumstances changed to match it. I would take on a certain quality of consciousness and watch how the quantum field set up events based on that quality. The link could not be denied. It was clear, immediate, and accurate. Truth wasn't this set and objective thing I had been taught it was. It was responsive, bendable, and always changing how it worked to fit the consciousness it was seeing in me. The most important thing I realized was that the observation could be made in either direction. As soon as I realized I was being watched, I could watch the person who was watching me. I was able to read the field as it read my consciousness. There was no space between the observer and the observed. We were stuck in a feedback loop where each of us instantly changed the other. I wasn't making reality out of thin air, and reality wasn't just happening to me. Through mutual observation and response, we were making something together. Within weeks, the outside world changed in every way. It seemed like money came in through impossible channels. There was a new relationship with someone who was a fit. Health problems that doctors couldn't figure out went away on their own. But the real change wasn't the changes on the outside. Recognizing that I had always had this ability to control quantum energy through conscious broadcasting, but had been using it in an unconscious, haphazard, and contradiction manner, was the real transformation. I could use the mechanism on purpose once I became aware of it. It was hard to keep that conscious awareness. It's easy to slip back into unconscious broadcasting and let old habits take over, forgetting that reality is always watching and responding. I had to develop habits, not for manifesting things, but for staying aware of quantum observation, for remembering that I am broadcasting a signal that the field is receiving and responding to at every moment. Being aware of that all the time is what makes the life possible that seemed impossible before. What I'm about to tell you will give you instant access to something that took me months to figure out by trial and error. There's no need for you to go through the stress and confusion I did. You can start using the mechanism right away once you understand how it works. You are being watched by the field, whether you know it or not. The only question is whether you will broadcast on purpose or by accident. You should subscribe to this channel because everything on it is meant to help you stay aware of quantum observation and learn how to direct energy on purpose instead of by accident. In this way, the reflex of deliberate direction instead of random wandering, of a clear signal instead of confusing noise, and of conscious broadcasting is being trained. Everything you have been taught about manifestation, consciousness, and reality creation will be completely destroyed when I reveal the precise mechanism for directing quantum energy consciously. Are you all set? Your energy is not going where you think or want it to go. It is going where you are by virtue of who you are, the kind of consciousness you have at any given time, your internal state's coherence or disorder, your conscious desires and your unconscious beliefs' alignment or contradiction. When you think about what you want, the quantum field doesn't do anything. The state of being you are emanating determines how it reacts. All day you can think, I want plenty. If you have scarcity consciousness, on the other hand, if you are afraid, limited, and think there isn't enough, the field responds to what you are, not what you think you want. This is the main reason why most people fail at affirmations. They are trying to make what they think matter more than what they are. Being too smart always gets a response from the field. In quantum observation, this is what is really going on. There is an electromagnetic signature of your consciousness being read by the field. This is the frequency pattern that your mental, emotional, physical, and energetic states make when put together. You are coherent when all of your parts line up around the same frequency. When parts of yourself disagree with each other, you are not making sense. When consciousness is coherent, it sends a clear signal that the field exactly picks up. Uncoherent consciousness makes noise, which the field responds to in a very random way. Take a look. You know you want a relationship, but deep down you think you're not good enough to be loved. The field doesn't react to what the mind wants. There is an unconscious belief that it responds to, because that is what you are at your core. Even though you know you want a lot of money, you subconsciously think that money is corrupt and that rich people are bad. The field shows you poverty not because it doesn't want what you want, but because it is responding correctly to your unconscious. This is why it's never a good idea to try to manifest from the ego. The ego wants to feel safe, important, or better about things. However, the wanting is itself a form of scarcity consciousness. You are someone who doesn't have what they need and wants, and the field responds by keeping the lack. Being the consciousness that naturally has what you want is what true manifestation is, the authentic embodiment of the frequency where that reality already exists, not by forcing or wanting it. Wow, that's crazy how fast this is happening. The field doesn't want you to stay in a state for weeks or months before moving on. Every second, it responds to the state you are in at that very moment. when you switch from a state of scarcity consciousness to one of abundance consciousness. The field starts to rearrange reality right away to match the new state. Things start to fall into place right away when you move from lack to wholeness. There is a lot less lag time between a change in who you are and a change in what you experience than people think. But this is where things get really strange. You don't have to become a perfect, idealized version of yourself for the field to like you. You just need to be yourself. Being honest and having a consciousness that isn't pretending or performing is what the field responds to. The field responds to authenticity when you stop trying to be what you think you should be and just be who you are. It brings about a reality that is in line with who you really are, not what you think you should have or be. Say this in the comments if you're ready to stop acting and start being. My authenticity is my power. Let this statement free you from the exhausting battle of trying to be someone you're not. You are telling the quantum field that your true state, right now in this very moment, is the strongest and most coherent signal it can finally respond to. This is what it's all about. Like this video if this truth strikes a chord with you. Allow the act of liking to be a resonance signal. You are telling the quantum field that you value authenticity over performance, and this powerful, freeing truth is then aligned with your own energy field. You are being called to consciously direct the energy, and reality is sending you unmistakable signals that quantum observation has stepped up. These signals are no longer subtle. These things are clear, keep happening, and can't be explained away as coincidences or your imagination. There is a point where your manifestations are getting too fast and unpleasant. Things that you think about come to mind too quickly, which makes you more aware of how you think than you were before. You are noticing that bad thoughts come up just as quickly as good ones, which makes you feel like you need to keep an eye on your mental state all the time. This speeding up is not a mistake, because the feedback loop has been compressed to a nearly instantaneous response time. The field is teaching you to be aware of what you are broadcasting. It's impossible to explain why synchronicities have gotten stronger. When you think about someone, they call you right away, several times a day. You need information, and the exact source shows up through channels that don't make sense. As soon as you think about making a choice, things start to either help or hurt you. These synchronicities are occurring with such frequency and accuracy that they show that reality and consciousness are not separate. It is responding so precisely to your consciousness that it is becoming clear that there is no wall between your inner world and the outside world. There's also the way that, depending on your state, obstacles either go away easily or get bigger and bigger. When you are aligned, in flow, and on track, doors open, resources show up, and everything runs smoothly. When you are in resistance, tense, and confused, even small tasks get harder, delays pile up, and friction shows up everywhere. There is too much difference to ignore. Reality isn't just randomly easy or hard. You can see exactly what frequency you are broadcasting by how it reacts, because it is reflecting your inner state with mirror-like accuracy. You've been feeling things in your body that are related to how intense the observation is. You might feel pressure in your chest or head, tingling all over your body, or electricity in the air. These aren't always medical problems, but you should always talk to a doctor to rule out physical ones. These feelings come from your nervous system picking up on the focused attention of the quantum field and reacting to it. The higher flow of responsive energy is being picked up by your energy body. It feels stronger when you are at decision points or threshold moments, because that's when you are mostly observing. The feeling that you can't hide anymore might be the most scary thing. You feel like your secrets are out in the open, even though no one has found them. You can see your inner contradictions, even though no one has told you directly about them. This isn't crazy talk. It is a correct perception. Anything can be seen by the quantum field. Every hidden fear, belief, lie, and contradiction that you don't even know you have. You are becoming more aware of being seen at this overall level as the observation gets stronger. The ego's response to realizing it can't keep up its masks and performances when consciousness is being read completely, is the discomfort you experience. But here is the important signal that you can't ignore. Reality is giving you a certain amount of time to move from being unconscious to being conscious. That window is going away. The observation is at its strongest right now. You're very aware of things. The feedback comes right away. It's not possible for this configuration to last forever. You will break through into deliberate quantum direction if you use your mind right now. If you think this is just interesting information and don't use it, the intensity will go down. Your awareness will fade, and you'll have to wait for another crisis or catalyst to make it possible for you to shift your consciousness again. The universe doesn't put pressure on you through fear, but it does talk to you through timing, and the time is now communicating. The level of development in your consciousness is now ready. In response, the field has stepped up its observations. You are at a turning point, as the coincidences are a signal. And what you do in the coming days and weeks will determine whether you start consciously directing coherence right away or spend years unconsciously broadcasting chaos. This is not mind reading. This is the correct understanding that threshold moments, windows of opportunity, and the best times for big changes do exist. This is what makes conscious direction possible. Instead of trying to control what you're broadcasting, you should just let yourself be it. This difference is very important. By hiding what is really there, the ego attempts to create coherence. Consciousness transforms what is there through acceptance rather than resistance when it allows what is there. You create more incoherence when you try to control your signal by forcing positive thoughts, stifling negative emotions, or acting like you have a lot when you really don't. The field picks up on the contradiction between what you're trying to show and how you really feel, and it reacts to the deeper truth. Because you are now broadcasting both the original state and your resistance to that state, your attempts to control make the signal less stable. But when you let what is there happen, when you recognize the fear without trying to change it, when you feel the lack without fighting it, and when you are in pain without trying to fix it, something amazing happens. Coherence is produced by acceptance itself. You're no longer going against what you said. At this very moment, you are being who you really are. And being authentic always makes sense, even if what you're being doesn't match what your ego wants. Authenticity wins out over positivity in the quantum field. It's better to really be scared than to act like you're sure of yourself. It's better to really feel like you don't have enough than to act like you do. It's better to be in pain than to act like everything is fine. Why? This is because real negative makes sense, but fake positive doesn't. What matters in this field is coherence, not whether the content is positive or negative. Write these exact words in the comments. I direct through being, not through wanting. The moment you make this statement, you stop trying to manifest through desire and start manifesting through authentic embodiment. You're letting the field know that it responds to who you are, not what you want. It's not changing your thoughts about what you want that changes you. It's changing who you are. Write it down. Because I am, not because I want, I direct. As you make this declaration, pay attention to what happens in your consciousness. Feel free from having to control things, the letting go into what is real, the understanding that authenticity, not performance, is what gives you power. In the next video, I'll show you the daily habit that keeps you moving forward consciously instead of falling back into unconscious broadcasting. The protocol is easy and only takes 3 minutes, but it changes everything about how you think about quantum observation. You will learn how to check your state in real time, change it when necessary, and send clear signals to the field all the time, not just sometimes. This is not a form of meditation or visualization. It's direct state management that works right away because it targets the mechanism itself instead of the symptoms. But right now, say what you want to say in the comments. Write down, "I direct through being, not through wanting." This is not a statement of fact. This is an acceptance of how quantum manifestation really works. Through what you are, not what you want. By writing these words, you move from trying to get things to becoming the consciousness that already has them. Write it now, because I am, not because I want, I direct. Let go of the exhausting project of trying to make things happen and embrace the power of just being what you want to bring into the world. After writing, subscribe right away. When you subscribe, you make your final promise to follow through. It aligns your energy with this field of conscious creation, which keeps you linked to the quantum reflex we're creating here. Use it as a signal to stay awake and avoid falling asleep again. Set up alerts, because what's about to happen will change how you live every moment of your life. You can become more aware of the mechanism that is always at work, whether you know about it or not, rather than adding more practices to your schedule. You are being watched by the quantum field right now. It will keep an eye on you tomorrow. For the rest of your life, it will watch you all the time. The question is whether you will stay unaware of this observation and let it happen on its own, or whether you will become aware of it and choose what it sees. But keep one important thing in mind. You have already changed because you are getting this message. Quantum observation is something you can't unknow. You can't go back to thinking that events happen outside of your consciousness or that reality is random. You now understand that the field is reading you, reacting to you, and manifesting a reality that is consistent with what it sees in you. When you know something, you can't use ignorance as an excuse anymore, which changes everything. From now on, you have a choice every second. Unconscious broadcasting of whatever state you automatically fall into because of your upbringing and circumstances, or conscious control over what state you are in by being aware and making a choice. Coherence or chaos, contradiction or lining up, random manifestation or intentional creation. Both have the same effect on the quantum field. It doesn't care what you do. Whatever it sees, it just reflects back. You are free to make your choice. Quantum observation is being applied to you. Not sometimes, and not just when doing spiritual things. All the time. Everything you think, feel, and state is read, stored, and responded to by the field. This isn't a thought or a belief. You have to work with this mechanism whether you believe in it or not, know about it or not, or believe in it. Consciousness of the mechanism and the willingness to direct it are the only differences between those who manifest on purpose and those who do so by chance. Up until now, your life has been a continuous stream of quantum broadcasting. No matter what state you chose, the field created a reality that matched it. When you were coherent by accident, things fell into place. When you weren't aware of how chaotic you were, Your life reflected that chaos. It wasn't lucky or unlucky. Without realizing it, you were broadcasting a precise quantum response to the signal. You now know, though, the observation is aware, the mechanism is shown, the electricity is there, it's already there. The only question is whether you will use it. No, not when you're more ready. Then you can try again after you learn more. Right now. Right now. You are broadcasting a state right now, and the field is responding to it. From what state are you broadcasting? Does it help you? If not, move it. Right now, at this very moment. Because this is the time when reality is being made based on what the field sees in you. We are consciously going this way. This is the change from being a victim of your circumstances to making your own reality by being aware of and controlling what you are every moment. You are not in charge of the outside world. You are in charge of your internal state and letting the field respond by manifesting the external reality that goes along with it. You set off the signal. The field is the receiver. This is the response. Reality. When you call for chaos, it comes to you. When you talk about coherence, it shows up. It's that easy, that right away, and that complete. There has always been a mechanism in place. The only difference is that you are aware of it now and can work with it. Thanks for coming to Conscious Quantum Direction. You are now aware that you are being watched and are using that knowledge on purpose. Thank you for consciously sending out the signal that makes the life you want to live happen. You are being watched by the field right now. That which you are broadcasting. What kind of state are you in? What kind of reality are you making right now by being who you are? Make an informed choice. Direct with care. Realize who you are. And observe how the quantum field responds by manifesting a reality that matches your consciousness. You've always had this power, but you didn't know it. This is the mechanism that has been working the whole time, but you didn't know it was. This is your life, your daily life, what you made. You can change things without using force or control. Instead, the quantum energy that is always watching you and reacting to what it sees can change things. Quantum observation is being applied to you. Now is the time to direct the energy. There is power here. Now is the time. You can make your choice. Make use of it.